You're looking at Atlantic City, New Jersey. This is the entrance of unbeaten Justo Sencion of the Bronx. The unbeaten lightweight is up first versus Carlos Navarez. Just the start of Friday Night Fights now. And hi, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Fights. Big program for you this evening. Now, last week, you might remember, we had both Zab Judah and Teron Millette here on the program fighting for the Junior Welterweight Championship. Our report card on Zab, and also, was it stopped too soon? Meantime, Jesse James Lehouse says he was held up. We'll talk about that and our take on that decision. And Holyfield and Ruiz this weekend. Not a world title fight. We'll say that a few times, but will it be a good fight? We'll get...
Okay, thank you, Brian. This is Dave Bontempo with Teddy Atlas. Friday Night Fights, brought to you by Miller High Life. Justo Sencion and Carlos Navarez. Take a look at Carlos Navarez coming in here. 5 wins in a row. He was once 3-8. Now he is 8-8. So he has really made a nice, strong comeback in his career. Did not want to become an opponent. And across the way, Justo Sencion, as you saw, if he can fight inside the ring as well as he can do entering the ring, he'll be something special indeed. That 12-0 mark with 8 knockouts. Let's take a look at New Jersey rules governing the contest here. As you get a look at Sencion preparing for combat. No 3-knockdown rule in effect here. No standing 8 count. Only the referee can stop the fight. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell at all. And you go to the scorecards after half the rounds are complete with an accidental foul. Criteria of the judging: 10-10 round is when neither boxer dominates. 10-9 round for a slight edge. 10-8 and 10-7 for multiple knockdowns. We are ready. We go ahead. Steve Smoger, the referee, and round 1 is underway.
Well, the first little trick up his sleeve, Sencion, who's usually a southpaw, has come out in the orthodox stance.
Sencion with a jabbing style, so, you know, already a little bit of a surprise, and a big knockout ratio. He wants to add to it right now.
Well, he's got a guy in front of him who's on the floor, just got off the floor, Navarez, who has been knocked out 4 times.
Coming in with 5 wins in a row, but all of a sudden stunned in the first round. Let's see if it's a sensational ending for Sencion. Big miss.
Sencion was a real good amateur, and he's showing those talents. 1996 New York Gold Glove champion at 119 pounds. Real good prospect. That's the scouting reports on Mr. Sencion. Good counterpuncher, too, from what the scouts say. And you can see he's looking for counter shots.
Good hooks. Here is Sencion really doing the job. Navarez stunned on the floor now, up, trying to shake off the cobwebs. Chopping right hand as he's coming in here. Navarez has righted himself, hoping that he can step up in a big way here. You know, you see a guy 3-8, you figure it's over. Now here he gets 5 wins, and he's on a TV card. But a rocky beginning.
Because everything in this business is not records. It's who those records are amassed against. Who you fought.
Hey, you get that Freddie Pendleton syndrome. Guy that was 13-12 and then went on to a title.
Right now, it's obvious what Navarez is trying to do. Trying to get himself together, move and pick spots, and then move a little bit more.
Well, it's a good idea for him to buy some time and try to get some type of a offense established, but Sencion continues to drill him well to the body.
Well, right now, the reason why Navarez is buying time is because Sencion is selling it to him. Sencion is letting him survive. Not using that jab, not pressing the matter. Playing defense, looking for spots right now.
Sencion selling it to him at a good price.
Either Sencion thinks more of Navarez than we do, or he wants to get rounds, or he's just not a finisher yet.
He opened up an explosive style, but Navarez may be out of the deep water for now. We'll see. But as we come to the end of round one, Sencion with a big start. Navarez trying to hang in there. Don't forget, coming up in our main event tonight, got mighty Ivan Robinson headlining in our main event. Robinson, seen many times on ESPN throughout the years, and going up against Vivian Harris, the typical crossroads fight, and you better believe it. You hear it, Shane, many times. That's what it is. Dave Bontempo and Teddy Atlas. Teddy, crossroads fights, of course, they both lost their last battle, but it means a different thing to each guy.
Yeah, well, I think the interesting thing here is the last fights of both guys. Ivan Robinson, of course, his last fight, he got stopped by a bigger Diaz. How much did that fight take out of him? How much is left? Also, we had those 2 tough fights with Arturo Gatti. Don't forget that. How much is left in Ivan Robinson? And Vivian Harris, last fight, he lost his first fight. He was an undefeated fighter. How much did he learn from that fight? He's going to have learned something to be able to deal with the experience of Ivan Robinson.
Harris was indeed stepping up in class, and we'll see how that affects him tonight. Second round action now. Navarez rocked and dropped in the opening round. Showing respect to Sencion, he was able to get through. What about the adjustment for Navarez after getting through a round where, for him, it looked like he may not happen?
Well, guess what? He's going to have problems. Not just because of that knockdown, but Sencion decided to come out as a southpaw, if you didn't notice. So, as though he didn't have enough problems, he got dropped in the first round by the orthodox Sencion. Now look, Sencion's a southpaw now.
Switch hitter with power here. Now Navarez has to be totally lost.
It can't help him.
Which Sencion does he have to worry about most?
He says to himself, boy, I could have sworn a little while ago he was standing orthodox. Now he's southpaw.
I've got him figured out as a righty. Oops. He goes back lefty.
And of course, Navarez, they did their homework. They knew that Sencion was a southpaw. So he's got to be thinking to himself, wow, he already dropped me from his worst side, from his weak side. What's going to happen now that he's in his strong stance?
And Sencion really going to work in the body shots. Then he opens up. Navarez trying to fight with guts here, but outgunned at this point.
You know, I mentioned that Sencion didn't show real finishing qualities in the first round. Maybe he was looking to work that round. Maybe he purposely did not go after to finish Navarez. He wanted to get a little work in there. Guys, when they think they have an advantage, sometimes they do that. They want to get rounds. Hey, it would indicate it a little bit, being that he came out as an orthodox fighter instead of in his natural stance as he is now as a southpaw.
Good shots to the head by Sencion, in total control thus far. Stalking here, trying to cut off the ring, make Navarez move his shoulders and then be more vulnerable as he opens up. Sencion already with a 10-round win to his credit with that 12-0 record. So he's been on the rise, he's been getting rounds. He certainly knows all about presentation.
Right now, Sencion is showing Navarez, if Navarez can pick it up, that he's looking for one big shot with that left hand. And there it is.
And when you can punch like that, you can look for the bombs. And Sencion with yet another knockdown.
The reason I said that it was obvious Sencion was looking for the one shot is he's pushing his jab, not snapping it. That usually tells you he's looking for something big with the left.
Final seconds of the second round if Navarez can get there. And it looks like he does. Friday Night Fights brought to you by Miller High Life and in part by 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. The people in Atlantic City enjoying the ocean, the great summertime here. And back to round one.
Well, here's the knockdown in the first round. Came from the orthodox stance, the right hand, the backhand. But now it switches around a little bit, and here's the first knockdown in the second round, coming from the southpaw stance.
You can probably count on one hand how many fighters can score knockdowns from either side.
That looked like he may have tripped over the southpaw's feet a little bit anyway. That looked like a lot of trip was involved in that trip to the canvas.
So the third round action. Navarez finds himself with too much to worry about, and Sencion fighting with a world of confidence.
Sencion has 2 jabs, that snapping jab, full extension jab that he just threw, and that plodding, pushing, feeling jab. And that usually tells you there's a left hand coming. There's the snapping jab. That's the one you like to see in a young fighter. That pushing jab, he'll get away with it tonight, maybe. But with an experienced fighter, he may get counted over the top of it.
And here comes Navarez trying to do exactly that, going to the body and scoring with the right hand. Sencion just 21 years old. Another knockdown, a little bit of the awkward variety.
Little push, and their feet may have gotten tangled up.
This might be it. It is.
I think the referee, as much as anything, a real good referee, by the way, Steve Smolder, felt that this was a mismatch.
Well, he's seeing 4 knockdowns, and you have to anticipate the potential of what might happen if Sencion can tee off. 12-0 versus 8-8. So Sencion pleasing his followers. Quite a legion came here to root him on, and they got what they came for. They got a nice opening and a nice close.
I don't think this was a clean knockdown, but we're going to get a chance to find out. Actually, Sencion did score a knockdown there. No doubt about it. He jumped in there with the right hook. Was able to catch Navarez. Looked like on the side of the head, a little bit maybe on the tip of the chin.
And the referee, Steve Smolder, stops it just though Sencion becomes 13-0, 9 knockouts. A tremendous performance. He scores the uppercut. This comes to an end. Let's go to the boys in Bristol, Brian and Max.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. I think Steve Smolder made the right call there, and we'll be talking about stoppages later on in the program. Meantime, time for the classic KO. We go